I got the role of Jesus. Let's talk a little bit about that because it was a long process to be able to get this role.
It really was. This was back in 2019. This was pre-pandemic, if we remember that world at all. Yeah, I guess it took me about 5 months, I guess, to get the job from start to finish, from when I started to audition for it. It's quite a journey, and it's been quite a journey so far. It's good to be wrapping up, and one of our last stops is here in Chicago, so it's exciting to kind of have this city as one of our final stops.
Let's talk a little bit about your role because obviously, history, may have a different version of Judas, but this is, telling it in a different way, and
Right.
especially through song and through the friendship with Jesus. But talk a little bit about the role that you play.
Well, I think I don't think in any way they're trying to glorify or elevate Judas, but I think they're trying to show the humanity in these characters and how people are manipulated and make bad decisions, and sometimes they have very grave consequences. So the story is really told through the eyes of Judas and how he led to that moment of betrayal that ultimately changed the course of human history. And for me, it's really important that Judas is not playing a villain or being a bad guy, because I don't think he is a bad guy. I think that he had a great relationship with Jesus. They started on this mission together. He had a mission for good, but like many humans are influenced by others, influenced by jealousy, influenced by my money and greed. So unfortunately, he let those things kind of overcome him and lost way of his own principles. And I think we know kind of the history after that.
So the concept is basically based on that, of Jesus being a singer-songwriter, and the gospel is the music. And yeah, it's a very modern version. It's a very subtle way to tell the story, yet it's not subtle. Like, it's hard to explain. It's more of a theatrical experience. It's part of part concert, part passion play. The band is great. It harkens back to the original Brown album, concept album that came out in the early '70s, that won Album of the Year. So it's kind of based on the music, and we tell the story through handheld microphones, and it's almost it's a form of communication. So it's pretty neat to have all of these elements come together, and it's a really neat way to tell this story.
Now, obviously, with stage door experiences are a little bit different now with everything going on in the world. But as far as like fans reaching out to you, because obviously this is a show, it may be someone's first, show that they saw in a theater. Their grandparents may have listened to the soundtrack. Their parents may have listened to it. It might be a family generational thing.
Yeah,
are you seeing that in the audience as far as like younger kids with their parents and their grandparents and people who are like, this is one of my favorite shows, or I saw it the first time it came around?
What's funny is people will bring like their kids or their grandkids. And obviously, like, people of those generations reach out to me, or they'll wait at the stage door and they'll say, "I've seen the show 20 times," or "This was my favorite, my parents' favorite show growing up, and we listened to it every Easter," or something like that. And they'll say, "This is my first experience with it." It's sometimes their first experience, sometimes it's like their 20 or 30th. You have like super fans of the show too. Yeah, it's crazy, right? I mean, people who don't have any experience with it either, they'll write me on Instagram or something, or they'll see me at the stage door and they'll be like, "That blew my mind." Like, had no idea what to expect. And the show is visceral. It's loud and it's fast, but it's subtle, and it's bloody, and it's emotional, and it's really intense.
Let's talk a little bit about getting this role. We just chatted with Aaron Lavigne, and he said that you helped him prepare for the role of Jesus. And when the role of Judas ended up opening up, he was like, "Omar, you got to go ahead and audition for this." Let's talk a little bit about your journey with the show.
Yeah, I still pinch myself because it's really wild. I remember when Aaron got this job, and I was thrilled for him. It's a huge opportunity to be a part of the legacy of this incredible show, and to play that title character is a big deal. And he's an exceptional artist, a great singer, great actor, and I was just thrilled for him to have that opportunity. So we talked at length about it, and I had been working on another show and doing some other things, and the role of Judas became available, and I honestly, I hadn't ever really put my mindset of playing the role of Judas. it kind of was a dream role to some degree, but I've always known that it's a very intense and very difficult role, and I was like, I'm not sure if I want to do that to myself, you know. But when the opportunity presented itself, and I said, you know, what a dream it would be to get to play, you know, opposite one of my very good friends, and you know, to be a part of the legacy of the show and its 50th anniversary. I said I have to submit and see what happens, and you know, I guess they were fans of what I did, and I'm grateful for it. So.